Welcome to episode 8. We left off last week descending into the catacombs, or at least a place beneath the capital city where we believe they bury the dead.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
So, you descend downstairs to a landing that is good sized, obviously big enough to have probably 6 people carrying a casket through, and it makes a left, but right in front of you at the bottom of the stairs is a sign. You can't read it immediately, but you recognize the script. It is classical Elfish.
I think Ray can read it.
I can indeed.
I believe Ray is illiterate.
Oh, is she? Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah. So you're useless.
Can Theseus? Theseus read it?
Theseus looks at it and he reads it out loud. He says Halan Andu, which then Ray immediately could translate because Ray can understand the spoken word.
Yep.
So what does Ray translate it to?
Closed at night.
Oh my god. Oh no.
Finally, the great mystery has been solved.
Oh, okay. All right. So, is this like a closed door then?
No, it's just the wall. The passageway, actually, if you were looking at it to the east, the passageway is actually to the north, so you could turn and go that way.
Alright.
So the passageway goes to the north, and basically from where you're standing, you can see the hallway goes ahead about, let's say 10 feet, and then turns to the left or continues straight. You can also, looking down the hallway, see that at the first intersection, there is some big symbol on the floor, almost like a mark of heraldry or something, in, let's say, red and green. And that's it. That's all I got.
Okay. So, does the passageway kind of split, or is it more like a T intersection?
I'm gonna keep everything simple just for mapping purposes. Let's just call it a T intersection. Theseus does tell you that when he was here long ago, these were nothing but lava caves carved out by the great volcano, and that all of this work that has been done has been to make them finished. So, the stone floor has been made flat, the walls have been made straight, everything is carved now to be clean and professional, even though it was once natural features.
Interesting. Okay.
So what you're saying is it was perfect before, and then humanity came and ruined the perfect, appeal of imperfect nature.
Yes, exactly.
I see.
Does Theseus recognize the heraldic mark in the floor?
No, he does not. He's not sure exactly what it is. He doesn't even think it's heraldic. It's just like some kind of a symbol that he roughly thinks he recognizes, but he's not sure.
Okay. All right. So, so the passage ends in a T. Can we see anything looking right or left?
Well, you're still standing at the entrance, and until you tell me to move, you're just looking down. You can see straight ahead of you down to the end of this, which is 40 or 50 feet in front of you, and then it makes a left. There's also the path to the left, another 10 feet in front of you, where that glyph is.
Okay. So we got 2 paths basically going left. Okay. Well, let's go down. We'll look at the first passageway going left, kind of right where the glyph is. See what we see there.
Okay, as you step on the glyph, it begins to glow.
Oh, of course it does.
Oh, that's fancy.
Okay.
LED lights installed.
I jump off the glyph very quickly.
Okay, make a dex roll.
Now one vaulting traps, I'm joking.
No, I did not get a nat 1, thank God. 14.
Okay, you got a 14. I'm assuming everyone else is walking with you.
Yes.
Do we all have to make saves?
Yes, everyone roll dex.
Okay. 9.
Ray
Ooh.
got a nat 20 with a +5.
All right, well, Ray, you just don't worry about anything. You successfully jump out of the way.
He gets an 8.
Okay.
He's distracted by the workmanship in the hallway.
And Castros?
Castros got a 9 too, so Castros was also distracted by how they ruined the hallway.
All right, so what happens is Dane notices it and goes, "Oh crap!" and dives, and everyone else is like, "Huh? What?" And so and just for fun, let me roll. Theseus, he also just kind of stands there. Same with the rest of them. So Dane, you're the only one that jumps out of the way. So
what about Ray? She got the nat 20.
Oh, Ray, that's what I'm saying. Ray is fine. Ray is like, oh, screw you guys. Like, immediately leaps out and is absolutely safe without any problem.
Oh, okay.
But what happens is the glyph lights up really bright and then makes a super loud clap. Just a boom.
Oh.
And everyone that's in that initial blast area there takes 16 damage, except for Dane, that takes 7.
Ow.
And Ray is just totally fine.
And Ray is totally fine.
It's like, repeat that. 16?
Yeah.
16.
Yeesh. Ow. Okay. Wait, what about Jeremy? Is Jeremy okay?
Let's roll.
Okay, actually, I didn't print his stats. I made it so that he has advantage on dexterity saving rolls when he can, like, sense something coming because of his
You're right.
perception.
He did have the perception. He sensed it coming. He gets advantage. I rolled a 18 for him.
For him? Okay,
Yeah.
so
Oh, okay.
he's probably fine.
So he should be fine.
Cool. Good job, Jeremy. Alright, then.
You're gonna have to make yourself some good berries.
That's what I'm thinking. Let me do math.
I'm down to 5.
Ugh.
Oh no. Another one of those incidents where satanic parents horrified because D&D is just improv and math.
Oh.
Alright, 1 sec. Good berry. Okay.
There's even an old Tom Hanks movie about the evils of D&D.
Yeah, he's a complicated guy. I mean, he did the who killed the electric car and helped bring back electric cars, but then he also, did the whole evils of D&D, and he made that god-awful Da Vinci movie.
Oh.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's an actor who gets paid to do roles, and especially when he was younger and starting off, you kind of take whatever roles are going to give you money, so I can't really blame him.
Yeah, there is that.
What was the movie about the evils of D&D? That wasn't like a public service announcement, was it?
No, it was a whole movie done in like the 80s or something about kids who get overly involved in the world, and I can't remember.
Huh. Interesting.
I've been doing good berries just slightly wrong, but that's okay. Sorry for anybody listening who is mad at me for not using good berry properly. Basically, you can eat 1 per action is what you're supposed to do. But I mean, most of the time we ate them when we were in like almost...
When the actions were kind of over.
Yeah. So it says
And that makes it fine. And that also answers the question about juicing. That if you made good berries, then juiced them, you could down all of them in one action.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then it does say up to 10 berries, but does not say to roll like a 1d10.
No, so just make, yeah, you can just make as many as you need.
I'm just gonna say I'm gonna need that because, and I can't up it with an upper spell slot. Screw you, good berry, you're nothing good. All right.
I also feel that it at this point I don't know, you're so focused on nature this wouldn't work. But I was gonna say, like there should be some drive to find a Vitamix.
He wouldn't find a Vitamix, he'd just go out and make his own. He's like,
Yeah.
go find his own herbs and just make his own thing.
Have Jeremy chew it.
Oh God, there you go. That's it. You're just gives Jeremy something to do as you're walking. You keep feeding him good berries, and he spits it into a little jar for you, so you have a little.
Perfect. And then Casper's will like use it, and then everybody will give him like a disgusted look. Like there's sloth spit in there. Hey, didn't you know sloth spit is a natural healing? Healing.
There you go. Gives it an exotic flavor.
Ugh.
Feeding Alpha any more false lies.
Okay.
All right. Anyway,
It's like, let me cast.
Would not a false lie be a truth?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Double negative. Anyways, I'm just gonna cast Goodberry really quick. Sorry, everybody else. I don't have enough for you. 19.
Oh yeah, those are really good berries.
Cool. And he's just gonna like snack on them as he walks down. It also says the good berries have like enough nourishment to last someone the entire day, which I thought was pretty neat.
So it's like lamnas berries.
You mean like from Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, like lamnas bread, but lamnas berries.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I thought you were saying.
Yeah, because lamnas bread, you only need one bite to sustain you for a day. So,
Unless
like
you're a hobbit,
Yeah, unless you're a hobbit.
you eat like
what? Yes, and then you end up with an impacted bowel because you ate like a couple cakes worth.
Anyway, so Castros will just snack on those good berries as they like. Oh, what happens after the giant boom? I'm assuming there's probably like an alarm system. Guards will probably be coming.
No, actually, there was that super loud boom was like a warning thing that echoed out a warning call, and the only sound you hear is latching, like some bolts being locked up at the top of the stairway you came in.
Oh. Hey.
That doesn't sound any better.
Okay, anyway, alright, so let's go down that passage. The passage is going left there.
All right, you continue. You start walking down this passage. You come to basically the first intersection you find, which is a passageway to the south. However, standing here, looking ahead, you see that another 20 feet up is another passage that goes to the south. And looking way down at the end of your vision is what appears to be one that goes to the north.
Okay.
It's basically a long hallway with multiple outs.
Got it. So we got
Well,
south, and then north.
Yes.
okay. So, I guess if he wanted to, Castros could become something that could smell down each path and whatnot, but
That's all
he
right.
only has one transformation left.
Nah, let's
So yeah,
hold off.
we're good for now.
I'm thinking north.
Alright. Just avoid the first south passages.
Yeah, I don't know. It's different, so I'll take the different one.
Okay, so you guys walk past the two southerly passageways, and you're going down towards the north one.
Sure.
I think so. Yes.
Okay. So you're walking down there, and about 20 feet after you pass the second of the southerly passages, you hear a scurrying from behind you, obviously echoing from down that passageway. And just knowing what you know of the Doppler effect, it sounds like it's coming towards you.
Okay. Cool. So
Scurrying, huh?
screwing. So let's
Casperus makes like a nat 20 nature roll. Ah, that's obviously the sound of a blank approaching.
So let's
Did you?
that's
Roughly about 5 ounces, like roughly about 20 pounds. Like,
Did you actually like roll that? Holy
no.
crap!
no.
Okay.
He's being silly.
Can you imagine though?
Anyway. Okay.
Well, yeah, I was curious. I mean, stranger things have happened.
You know what? Yeah, sure. Casperus is gonna make a nature check to see if just by sound you can tell what it is.
Sure, go for it. You've spent a lot of time in nature.
Just for fun, why not? Close to a nat 20. I got an 18, which means I rolled an 18, 24.
Holy crap! You guys, that's a spider, and that's a big one at that. It must have been attracted by that sound. It's the only thing that makes any sense to me.
Big ol' spider.
Okay.
You know what? That does make sense that you could identify a spider by sound. You know, like the 8 legs and whatnot.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, you know, like when the final scene in Jumanji, you know, like all those giant spiders. Like if I heard those coming at me in the dark, I think I would be able to tell.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyway, so let's spin around. Let's ready our weapons and see if it actually pops into the passageway.
So if you're if you guys are standing there, you're a few feet down. The spider comes down, hits that intersection, kind of looks left, looks right, and starts moving off to the right. Okay. So the spider kind of starts crawling down towards the entranceway where you came, and then stops for a second. And make stealth checks.
Stealth. I got a 20.
Awesome.
Not good.
Not nat 20, but with the bonus, Casperus gets a 20.
Ray gets a 12.
I get a 6.
Okay. Well, considering you don't have to beat a very high check on this, I think you'll be all right.
Even Dane 6. Oh, what did Alpha roll?
Alpha got Alpha got a nat 1.
Oh God. So everyone else is like silently waiting, and Alpha, hello there, spider friend. Have you heard of the glory of Gond?
God, it's Casperus's nat 1 stealth check from earlier.
Oh my God. So yeah, everyone else is there. Alpha just steps out. Doom, doom. Oh my God. The spider stops in its tracks, turns, and moves towards you. All right. Roll initiative.
16.
Ah, gosh darn it. 9.
6.
6. All right.
Would you add the efficiency bonus into your?
Alpha nat 20 his initiative.
Okay, so Alpha is at 20. All right.
Well, he was prepared.
Every low must have its high.
It's like every cowboy sings a sad, sad song. All right, and Theseus gets a 5.
Theseus has been quite helpful, hasn't he?
Yeah, he doesn't have any weapons or armor. Or him might be.
Use.
I'm working under the assumption that just under the. Oh, I guess yeah, he doesn't have any armor yet or weapons yet. Jeez, we got to find him something like immediately. If anyone wants to take an action before we get started to throw him like a sword or a dagger or something, that might be helpful.
Short. I can lend him one.
All right, what are you giving him, just so I have the numbers right?
Short sword does 1d6 piercing.
Perfect. All right, that works great. He's got a short sword, so you hand it over to him. I'll just assume you guys are standing next to each other and you kind of elbow him and be like, psst, here.
Make yourself useful.
All right, and now I need to roll for the spider. Ends up right in between you guys. Alrighty. So, Alpha, it's coming right at you. What do you do?
Coming right for us. Shoot.
Shooter.
Alpha.
Oh, your mic is off, Alpha.
I think he broke. We have an alpha seizure. Like, there's what is it? Fight, flight, or freeze? He did the freeze.
I did the freeze.
So, yep. All right. So, Castros, you rolled the 16, right? Did I write that down, or did I flip you and Ray?
You get the
Okay,
16.
good. All right. So,
Yeah, he's just gonna take out his club and just like relish in the idea of just smashing a giant spider with a club. Oh yeah.
you just take it out. You're not going to actually strike with it.
No, he'll strike with it.
Okay. Well, I had to check.
He just thinks about striking with it, just imagining it in his head, like, oh yeah, this will look pretty sick. 15.
That is a hit.
And then 10 bludgeoning.
Ouch. Yeah, you knocked it down. Its legs kind of squish out and it pops back up. It kind of shakes its head, and whatever you did also jogged Alpha out of his stupor, and Alpha moves.
Hey, so what just happened? Sorry. Discord just
You're being attacked by a spider. You need to respond.
How far away is it?
It's literally right in front of you. She just hit it with a club right in front of you.
Okay. Alpha looks down at the spider and goes, "Oh, Ganduken!"
It doesn't understand your words and just
he uses a explosive fire blast and blasts a cone of fire through the thing and at the thing. It has to make a DC 12 dex save.
rolls a 17. Oh yeah, and it's got a plus. So yeah, it clears it, no problem.
Right. So it takes half damage. So it gets singed for 4 total.
Okay.
Oh. Castros is probably right in that area too. Should he also make a dex save?
It's a good question.
I don't know, like if you're directly behind the fire, I'm guessing.
Well,
I'm assuming you're over to the side a bit.
okay.
So I think you're fine.
All right, so having received so much damage, the spider turns and begins to flee. Dane, you can pursue if you wish.
Like when you see a spider in your room and you're like, okay, do I let you get away? Or should I kill you now so I'm not worried about where you are when I sleep tonight?
I'm gonna throw my javelin at it.
All right.
16 to hit.
You hit.
All right. So that's 6 piercing damage.
Nice. Yeah, it stumbles and it's wobbling back and forth. It's bleeding badly. Not doing good. Your javelin is kind of pulling it down to the side and it's dragging it as it's barely moving. Ray?
Cool. All right. It's Ray's turn. Ray, what are you gonna do?
On Bowen. About all I can do. Nat 20! Let's go!
Yeah, I'm just gonna say you kill it completely, thoroughly. Just go ahead and describe how.
So, take my bow, pull the string back, flip my long, luxurious locks out of my face, and just snipe it through the head, there, just gets stuck in the ground, and just gets stuck there, and just dies.
Just pin it. All the legs flop up and then fall back down like a sheet being fluffed.
God.
Very cool.
Catherine's
Nat 20s! Man.
Yeah.
for the spider.
For the spider. Scary. All right.
Castros is gonna run over and see if he can't loot any, maybe ingredients, potion ingredients off of it. I don't know. Could he make, a medicine or nature check if, a giant spider could have any good ingredients on it?
Venom.
Or
I'm
venom.
able to make anti-venom.
There you go.
Sure, go for it.
Medicine or nature?
I would say medicine if you're going to try and make like an antivenom.
Yeah, it's a nat 20.
You do it perfectly. You're like, yep, there's the poison sac right here. I'll watch as I flawlessly remove it.
I mean, or he could keep the venom and just use it.
Totally. Yeah, you can keep it as a... You can do whatever you want with it. You've perfectly removed it. So if you...
Perfect. So it's like perfectly intact, just chilling?
Yeah, you've got like the entire poison sac, self-contained. You could use it for anything. Heck, you could put it on a weapon and have a poison damage weapon if you wanted to.
There you go. Well, the tech's not gonna last forever.
No, but I'm saying you have enough that you could, use... Let's say... Here, I'll just roll... Oh, geez, man, dropped my die. It's a good-sized spider, so you get maybe, let's call it like 18 uses out of it.
That's nice.
More than I expected, but I rolled an 18, so we'll just go with it.
Well, the only weapon I think would use for that is his scimitar, but he doesn't really use that. He prefers his club.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. Have raid dipper arrows in it or something.
that's true.
No, it's my sack.
No dipping your arrows in my sack.
Once again,
Mine!
Castros has not been taught to share, apparently.
No, he's lived on his own in the woods for God knows how long.
Anyway, all right.
Anything
cool.
else of value? Like maybe the organs are worth something. Who knows? Like,
That's up to you guys if you want to figure that out. I mean, it is just a giant arachnid.
Now,
nah, I got the poison sac. That's all I need.
unless you want the fangs for
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, Casters will take the fangs. We'll take the mandibles.
Alrighty. Let's see, you're gonna... Yeah, just give me a roll on... And you can have any bonuses for... Oh, what would be good? Either survival or nature. You can take your pick.
Survival's a +5 and nature's a +6. So,
There you go.
15.
You pull them right out. You rip them out from its head, and you're like, mine now.
Trophy.
necklace or earring.
There you go.
All right, cool. So, now that we have successfully disassembled the spider, let's continue on our way and head north.
All right. You take the northern passage, which then turns to the east, and a few feet later back south, and then to the east again. Remember, this used to be a lava tube, so it's all over the place kind of randomly. But it does open up into a chamber. And as you pass into the chamber, you see a narrow pit covered by iron bars lies in the northwest corner of the room, and someone has scrawled something in Orcish on the east wall.
I don't think any of us can read Orcish. What is Orcish? I guess Orcish just derives from itself, because some languages derive from other languages, so like there's a chance. But I think Orcish is just Orcish.
Yes, I believe it is.
Ooh, Dane
I was going to say.
knows Orcish.
Dane knows Orcish?
Dane knows Orcish.
Alright, Dane, read what it says.
It says, "It is awake."
Ah,
Great.
sounds like another old one.
Okay. But the pit is covered, right?
The pit is covered with bars. Do you want to go look inside?
Oh, Castros is looking inside.
Sure. Let's go look inside the pit.
Castros, you see a creature inside, decent sized, hairy.
Harry?
Yeah. Like thick, dreadlocky, long, green skin, claws, medium size, they call it Dane sized.
Dane sized. Okay. Has he ever seen anything like this before? Or would I need to make a check?
You have to
for
make a
that?
check.
History or nature?
Being a druid, I would say you're out in the woods, you're seeing a bunch of stuff. Either one actually would be fine. It's either looking into your history or something that you would recognize in nature.
Yeah. If you're gonna give me the choice, then I'm always gonna choose nature,
You're right, and I shouldn't do that. I really should say history. So you're going to trying to remember something that you would have seen a long time ago.
Or if I heard from any other druids in passing.
Exactly.
Though, to be fair, like, the Circle of the Moon do have, like, occasional meetings. I mean, he hasn't been able to attend many of them, but, like, he still doesn't talk to me, so he'd have to really, really try to remember. Because he's not paying attention. All these other druids are lame. Yeah, that's not great. 6.
Yeah, you're not sure. You're like, guys, that looks scary.
Well, scary to them, maybe. Castros finds it fascinating. He's gonna study it. Observe the behavior.
Well, at first it's just hunched over and not really paying you any mind, but then it kind of almost like it sensed you. It turns and hisses. It's got large, powerful jaws with big canines in them.
Ooh, aren't you impressive?
Big nose, beady eyes, the whole thing.
Ah, neat. Castros likes this thing.
But it's still behind the bars, right?
Yes, it is definitely trapped here.
Oh, okay. So as long as we don't try and open the pit, then it's fine.
Yes.
Is there anything? Can we see? Is there any kind of passage or anything out of the pit, or is it just a pit?
It looks like it's just a pit. A bit south of where the pit is in the room, there is a passage to the next room over.
Oh, okay.
Castros likes this thing. If the challenge rating was a certain challenge rating, then
We've got things to do. Come on, focus.
It's too high for
Focus.
you. Sorry.
What?
It's too high. It's higher
Is
than
that-
what you can use.
darn. Castros just gonna watch this thing. He doesn't care what you guys are doing now. This thing's cool.
All right. Anyway, so let's take the passage out of this chamber into the next chamber.
All right. As you go in, let's see. You go in and you just kind of look at first in the door. You see movement on the ceiling, almost like it's alive. And around the floor, there's a bunch of discarded, looks like barrels, supplies, things that may have been being used to feed what's in the pit.
Ah, the ceiling is Devil's Snare.
Alpha, can you shine your torch at the ceiling?
Well, yes, I can.
As he illuminates the ceiling, you see... What?
I was thinking he didn't actually do it. You just asked him if he could. He just said yes, he can.
Oh, well, I just assumed you would. So go ahead. Go ahead. Let's see if you accidentally light yourself on fire.
Oh, no. He just raises his arm.
All right. You see that what's moving is a swarm of bats that are hooked onto the ceiling nesting.
Oh, okay.
That's fun. I feel like Castros did not follow the rest of the group into the next room. He's still watching the thing in the pit because he thinks it's cool.
Anyway, all right. So is everything on the floor kind of like looks like basically just trash?
Yes.
Okay. And bats on the ceiling. So can we see anything else about this second chamber?
Nope. Other than it's about, it's relatively small. Let's call it 20-foot square.
Okay. No other passages leading out of it?
Correct.
All right. Well, it seems kind of like a dead end. So,
So, the Castros will go into that room that you guys were in and see like all the barrels, and he's gonna be like, oh, I want to feed our friend. So he's gonna open up the barrels and supplies that are in there.
All right. They're all just kind of destroyed. You might be able to scrape up a few morsels here and there.
Perfect. That's exactly what Castros will do.
Okay, you do that.
Perfect. He's gonna go back to the room with the pit and like call up the guy and just be like, hey, Charlie, look up here.
It
You
just
named it
it hisses at you and takes whatever you throw at it and just shoves it in its mouth.
Truly a beautiful creature.
come on, Castros. We were supposed to be finding something.
We did find something. Look at Charlie.
Something for Theseus. Something useful for our quest.
You're not saying Charlie isn't useful? Give me a second. I'll befriend him and he will help us on our quest.
Somehow, I don't think that's possible. Anyway, all right. So I lead everybody else. Castros is going to do what Castros is going to do, apparently.
Yep.
And we will lead him back down, and we will take the southern passage that had the spider in it.
Okay. It continues for quite some distance before turning off to the west. Straight ahead, there is a room that it opens up into, and that room, as you approach, you see faded and torn tapestries hanging from the walls. Particularly the north and east walls also seem to be covered with veins of metal that peek out from behind the tapestries. And
Ooh.
as you push further in, you see there is a humanoid figure somewhat obscured by shadow in the southwest corner.
Okay. Well, I suppose I will investigate the humanoid figure first to see whether or not it's a threat or what exactly it is.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You just walk in, and you start walking up to it to just like investigating, watching it, looking at it.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to make sure the actions are right. As you get into the room and cross about halfway, it lifts its arm, actually both arms, and starts moving to you. As it comes out of the shadow, you see that it is completely wrapped in bandages, head to toe. And as it stomps, dust falls away.
Okay.
It's a mummy. At first, I was gonna make a Monty Python Black Knight joke, but
All right. How far away is it?
Right now, let's call it, 15 feet.
Okay. 1 second. I would like to cast Firebolt at it.
Okay. That sounds awesome.
All right. So roll. So help me out here, Emily.
Do
I rolled an 11.
you have a spell attack bonus? Did you ever write down a spell attack bonus?
Don't know.
I don't think you did.
Trying to see whether I get a spell attack bonus.
Well, you
should.
You just didn't write it down. Oh, well, we'll cut it later.
What is it normally?
Your whatever you use to cast with as your class plus your proficiency bonus.
Oh, it's different for...
Yes,
Okay.
each
Yeah,
class
so
has
I'll
their
tell
own
you-
thing, like a wit. Oh, sorry, what?
Yeah, because like with druid levels, then I forget what it does your spell attack bonus is, but it's basically whatever you're proficient in, as well as your proficiency bonus and something or other like that. Yes, that's exactly it. Is like your main proficiency and then your proficiency bonus.
So intelligence is my spell casting ability for my wizard spells.
There you go.
All right, so your plus for int plus your proficiency bonus is your spellcasting.
Okay, so it's 11 plus 6 is 17.
No, that's not it. It's
No?
the plus. So it's +2 +4, so that's 6. +6 on all that you cast.
Yeah, so I rolled an 11.
Yes, the 17. Sorry.
Yeah,
You're good.
So 17.
Yeah, I'm assuming that, and then your DC and then I don't know what your spell save DC is, but I'll figure that out real quick, and we'll see if he does it, and he fails his save anyway, so that doesn't matter.
Oh, perfect.
Yep. So,
Okay.
and do damage.
Which is a 1d10.
There you go. You got it.
So that's 5 fire damage.
Nice.
Cool. All right. Woohoo!
And it kind of bursts into flames when you do that. It jumps backwards and like, ah. So the fire particularly hurt it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a dry, dead body with dry bandages.
There's a reason the British used to burn them in steam engines.
Really?
Yeah,
They used to burn mummies in steam engines?
yeah,
Wow. I did not know that.
yeah. You toss them in.
That's
There's
fun.
also unwrapping parties where you'd have a bunch of friends over and like sip brandy and pull mummies apart and all sorts of stuff.
The British were barbarians.
Yes, true and proper.
All right, cool. So that was who's next? What's going on?
Okay, well, I think assuming everyone else followed you in,
Except for Casseros.
except for Castros, who's hanging out back with her new friend,
His new friend.
his new friend. I'm sorry, you're just so fluid. I just get the pronouns all wrong.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't think Casseros would mind being called a she. Anyways, I feel like while this is all happening, he's probably gonna try to use, like, speak with animals or something and try to communicate with Charlie and just be like, oh, you're such a pretty thing. Well, like, everybody's dying. Just like...
awesome. So I guess if everyone else is there, minus Castros, they should probably roll initiative. Obviously, with Dane being at the top of the list. So Dane, you don't have to because you're basically,
I just took my turn.
yeah, you started it out. You're basically like nat 20 to coming in.
Ray got 19.
And then Ray goes next, apparently.
Alpha's 15.
All right.
So what you gonna do, Ray?
Shoot it with my longbow. Is there any other option?
Well, that's up to you. I'm not gonna
You have
tell you
short-
what to do.
I mean,
Yeah, but my longbow would. Bleh. My longbow does more damage.
well, there
And
you
now I'm an archer.
go.
Does
Right?
double the damage. Not double the damage, but you know.
All right, so take your shot, I guess.
That's 5 to hit.
5 does not hit.
Yeah, I kind of figured it didn't.
Yeah, that's a definite miss. You shot and hit the stone in the corner behind him. Probably clinked off the metal even, made a nice little spark.
At least it made a nice little spark.
Like to add a flourish, you know. All right, Alpha, go ahead.
Alpha wants to try his Ganduken again.
Well, how does the Gundukan go?
Well, it's basically just he has to do a spell save against it, and at the current level, it's only like 12 dexterity save.
So I have to roll for a 12 dex save. I am not dexterous at all. Yeah, I rolled a 6, so that
Alright.
didn't happen.
And then, 5-foot wide jet of flame shoots out to strike it.
Oh, poor thing.
Oh,
All right. How much
Um,
for how much damage?
Oh. Without the save, I rolled a 1 and a 2, so 3 damage total.
Steve, no. Hey, still that fire though, even though it was a low amount of damage from you coming out, it does a lot to him because it's, well, fire.
Anyone else get the feeling that we're picking on a poor little guy who just wants to come up and talk?
It is a possibility. Let's see here. So 2 hit, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see. The mummy can use. All right. I gotta read this thing real quick. I'm not particularly familiar with this monster. So it gives you, Dane, first a dreadful glare, and you need to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Ooh. 17.
Yeah, that has no effect on you. So it tried, it failed, so then it's just gonna try to punch you with a rotting fist attack is what it says here. So that is 13 plus 18 to hit.
Well, that hits. My armor class is 18.
Actually, I think in the tie situation like that, it does not.
Oh. Okay.
I believe that in Defender gets the tie. So
Okay.
I think you're all right.
Oh, very.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure on that one. Kind of like when you round down, you always go, or like when you cut a damage in half, you always round down to the lower number type of a thing.
Okay.
So yeah, it does not contact, and it's fine, which means Theseus, his turn. And for the role of Theseus tonight, perhaps Alex, do you want to do that?
Yeah, I was trying to think what he has available here.
He's got the sword. Remember, he was loaned a sword.
Yeah, I think that's going to have to be what he uses right now. So basic attack, he has proficiency, so... Theseus does a swing. What is proficiency? 3? Yeah, 3. But does the rapier have any other bonuses to it? Or the short sword?
Whatever the short sword. No, it does not. It's just a regular common short sword.
Theseus then rolls. He rolls a 7.
Yes, he does not hit.
The great warrior king in all of his might.
Yes, well, he has been dead for a while, and you just give him a random weapon to play with. So
He's a little rusty.
yeah. So back to Dane.
All right, so I'm gonna take a swing at it with my battle axe now.
Go for it.
And that is a 17 to hit.
Oh yeah, you hit it.
All right, cool beans. Now I gotta find the right die. Okay, so nice. 7 plus 5 is 12 damage.
Woo! Well, that's a hit. Nice, good hit.
Excellent. All right.
All right, so you took that thwack, and then Ray, go ahead.
Try with my longbow again. That's a 14 to hit.
You hit as well.
Yes. Okay.
What are you looking for?
That's 3 damage.
All right, it strikes for 3.
Yup.
Yep.
That's about it.
That's the thing.
Add it to the chart.
Yeah, basically.
Look, I got 2 nat 20s earlier. I think you could give me a pass here.
Well, it could have been worse.
Yep.
All right, Alpha, go ahead. Alpha.
Rolling,
All right.
rolling.
I know, he just keeps...
I have no idea what's up with my connection. Discord just keeps disconnecting me.
Oh, well, that's annoying.
So, how far away is Mr. Mummy right now from us?
He is right in front of Dane, so basically within 5 feet.
All right.
Yeah, Ray's off to the side and you're close.
Yeah, Alpha's gonna go ahead and not do his fire fists anymore because, well, not do his fire range thingy. I should
As
say.
you probably set Dane on fire.
Yeah. So instead, he's going to just go ahead and flurry of blows this guy.
All right, go for it.
First roll is... Should I just roll all 3 attacks right now?
Yes, go ahead. It is a flurry
18.
of rolls.
Yeah, 18, 7, and 4. So it looks like only...
1 hits.
Yeah. But it's 5 fire damage from his fist.
5 fire from his fist?
Yeah, his fists do fire damage.
What? Okay. I accept this. And so you take a couple swings, they miss. The one that hits, you punch him straight in the heart, and the fire just rips through him. The bandages explode into flames, and he screams and collapses into a pile of ash and little burned strips of bandage. So, huzzah.
Huzzah!
Woohoo! I was imagining Castros in the other room, hands on his face resting in his hands, his feet kicking back, he's lying on his stomach, his feet are kicking behind him as he just gazes into the pit with the monster still hissing at him. Oh my god. Just for fun, I just rolled to do like a speak with animal or something with the thing. I got a nat 20 on that.
Okay, it's not an animal,
Darn.
but we'll just let me read the stats really quick and think about this for a minute here. Yeah, it's not an animal, it is a sentient creature, and it does gobble and hiss at you, and you think there are words, but you don't understand the language in the slightest.
Ah.
I was gonna say,
So it's
maybe
not speaking infernal or abyssal? Because I can understand that.
It's would probably sound more like something you would have heard from, like, maybe if you travel far enough to meet with the hill giants or the mountain giants or something like that.
Darn. Sometimes being in the forest, there's only so much you can encounter.
Yeah.
He's still gonna try to make friends with Charlie, though. He'll, like, talk to him, you know, like how you talk to plants. Like, the other guys will be fine. They can do fine without me. I'm just gonna chill with Charlie. Charlie's pretty dope. Is there any way, like, in the pit, are there any, like, holes or doors?
No, it's not like whatever that animatronic Lucas used in Return of the Jedi's pit.
Oh, the Rancor monster.
Yes, that one.
Well, that's good because we don't need Casseros setting the stupid thing free.
Why not?
Anyway, all right. So there's veins of metal in the wall of this room, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So after we defeat the mummy, Dane's gonna go investigate the veins of metal, see if he can identify them.
Okay.
Ooh, nope, not a good roll. So that's a 9. You rolled a 9 for that.
Well, just because you're a dwarf and you've seen a lot of it, you can see a couple little flecks of what looks like gold, but there are several other metals obviously present that you don't recognize at all. Although there is a vein that is kind of greenish in color, as well as one that's a little reddish.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. I don't think I have any mining implements anyway. I don't have time for it, but
Yes.
I mean, being a dwarf, he's always going to be on the lookout to try and upgrade his weapons and armor. So,
Oh, absolutely.
So anyway, all right. Is there anything else we notice in this room?
Nothing other than what I mentioned. There are 2 pathways out, one to the south out of the southeast corner, and one to the west out of the northwest corner.
All right. Ray, which door do you want to take? The one going south, the one going west?
I say we go south.
All right, we're going to take the south door.
Alrighty. This goes immediately into a passage which turns and heads to the west.
Okay.
Just a sec, I need to roll something. As you enter this area, you see further down the hall something that looks like a person, but naked, with large toenails, fingernails, sharp teeth, kind of glowing turquoise eyes. And it's kind of beckoning you down the hallway to that end.
Well, ain't this feller special?
Before you said, like, the turquoise eyes, all I was imagining was, like, a hag raven from Skyrim. Just, like, the long claws and just the general look and feel, I guess.
Oh, no, nothing like a hag raven. Think of, like, one of the characters from 300, but with gray skin and long finger and toenails.
Okay. Well, I guess we will cautiously kind of move down the hallway towards it.
Okay, it keeps beckoning you. and it's backing up. You can see ahead of you there is a turn to the left where it goes the passageway splits and goes south, as well as continues to him, where he gets to an area where it turns to the north, and he's trying to get you to follow him.
Seems kind of like a bad idea. One thing you never want to do is play another monster's game. Ray, do you have any thoughts on what we need to do here? Do we keep following him, or do we... But I think he's trying to lead us into a trap, honestly. Okay.
Theseus says, "Of course he's leading us to a trap. Are we going to attack, or are we just going to follow him into it?"
All right. Well, Theseus, show us how it's done. Go ahead and attack.
What? Well, I wouldn't have come this way anyway. Fine, I will attack. And he runs over, and he just charges straight at the creature and takes a swing, and he hits. And that damage was... Ooh, he does a decent amount of damage. He sinks the sword into the torso of the creature and knocks it back, and it lets out a scream, and when it does, you hear a response scream from the pathway that was to the south.
Okay. All right. Well, Dane is going to position himself in that passage that's going south there, because the other creature is kind of in that north-going passage, isn't it?
Yes.
So yeah, Dane's gonna kind of guard against a flank attack there. Ray,
Excellent.
what are you gonna do? You gonna follow up against Theseus, try and get rid of that creature really quick, or are you gonna hang out with me?
Well,
Alpha's charging forward
don't
towards
let him
the
die.
Theseus.
What'd you say?
You're charging forward to where?
Oh, to join Theseus, to try and
Oh.
eliminate the creature.
All right, so you're charging towards that, and then so what's okay, yeah, what's Ray doing?
well, we can't just let him die. We need him. He's useful to us, so I guess I'm with him.
With Theseus?
Yeah.
Okay, so she follows
Just make sure
Theseus
he
as
doesn't
well.
die.
All right, cool. Well, let's see. Let's do a quick initiative check between Ray, Alpha, and Dane, just to see where you guys fall.
Okay.
Ray got a 5.
Okay.
Dane got an 11.
Wow, and that 5 almost beat me. I was 3. I mean, almost beat me to the end of the line. I thought it was just going to be a gimme. All right.
This is your benevolent GM! And this is an ad break. Thank you for listening. Please join us at patreon.com/Azentuary, where you can sign up and ask us questions, which we'll answer in a monthly Q&A session. Or, at a higher tier, you can become an NPC that permanently is a part of our fantasy world. Or even higher still, you can get all of our merchandise as we invent it. Give us reviews, let us know what you think. All of it will be for sale eventually on Azentuary.com. But for now, if you could please support us, we're at patreon.com/Azentuary. And thank you for joining the adventure.
Okay, so let's see. Dane is there. Okay, Theseus is at the top. All right, let me do a quick check on the others. Oh, wow. Well, the guy that Theseus just hit rolled the same as Alpha. So I'm going to roll it again and see if it's high or low, where it ends up. Yeah, so he'll go first before Alpha. And then, let's see. So Dane, since you're actually would fall next in line there, what you see is coming from the area in front of you, that hallway,
Mm-hmm.
2 more of the same creatures emerge.
Okay.
And they, let's see. Neither of them roll better than you.
Oh, perfect.
I'm just trying to get everyone entered here real quick.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying not to throw my dice on the floor. Let's see. So they come out. So you get to go first, actually.
Okay. I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do real quick here. I'm going to cast a spell. Are these creatures side by side, or are they?
Yeah, they're coming out within 5 feet of each other.
Okay, well, I think I can only hit one of them, so I am going to cast a ray of frost at one of them.
Okay.
All right. So that is 7 plus 6 is 13.
13 to hit, and it definitely is not going to save with that roll. Yeah, I just rolled like a 7 to try and save, so I'm sure you hit it.
Okay, all right, cool. So damage is a 1d8. So that is 7 damage.
Ouch. Okay.
And being hit by the ray of frost, its speed is reduced by 10 feet until the start of my next turn.
Okay. It's
Slowed down.
It's slowed down. It's still, I don't know. Yeah, okay, it's about that distance from you, maybe a little further. So it just can't quite reach you in a turn, say.
Sounds good.
All right. There's that one. The next one is the one up by Theseus. And it is going to, it got hit, knocked back. It's going to take a swing at him first, and that hits. Let's see, that is 2 of these. So 1, 2, 3. He takes 5 slashing damage, and let's see. He needs to make a Constitution saving throw. Alex, do you want to take care of that? Oh, I'll just roll.
Yeah. 1 moment. Sorry, I keep forgetting that my microphone is muted to avoid any background noise. Constitution is +2. 12.
12. That saves. All right, you're good. So, it is Alpha's turn.
Alpha is going to try and do ye old 1-2 Fire Fists of Fury punch. Just punch him.
Just like jump around Theseus and punch it.
Yep.
All right, go for it.
Did not do very well. 12 and 14.
One of those hits.
Hi. So 1 hits for a total of 6 fire damage.
All right, and yeah, you can tell it's definitely hurt. Like it's severely damaged.
All right, cool beans.
That's a 10 to hit.
That does not hit.
Wasted those nat 20s early on.
And the second zombie that's down by Dane comes up and attacks. That is, let's see, 4. That is an 8 to hit. So it tries to attack you and misses.
All right, so Dane just kind of holds up his shield and it scratches the shield.
Yep, and the other one moves up slowly to you and doesn't quite get to you, but they're both right at you right now.
All right, so the one that's right in front of me, I'm going to swing at it with my axe.
Okay, well, hold on a sec. I'll say it's Theseus's turn real quick.
Oh, okay.
So I gotta have him attack the one in front
All right,
of him.
that's fine. I will wait.
So, he nat 20. I'm just gonna roll because that way Alex doesn't have to turn his mic back on. And he nat 20s and kills it.
Oh, very nice.
So yeah, Dane, go ahead. You were gonna swing your axe.
Yeah. Let's swing my axe. Oh, nice. So that was a nat 19, which makes it a 24 to hit.
Yeah, you definitely hit. Holy crap!
All right, so
That's like you called it in the chest and buried your axe. Like,
right. So that's 4 plus 5. That's 9 damage.
ouch. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, I guess I'm just gonna. That's kind of it. I don't think I want to use my action surge because like I only get one in between long rests, right?
Believe so. So yeah, you probably want to hang on to that for a moment.
Yep. Okay.
All right. So then that one you just hit, he knocks back, and then falls back forward with a claw swinging at you. Oh no. I'm sorry, I just nat 20'd it.
Okay.
Well, hopefully I'll roll the damage low. That's a first. That's a 1. 4. Oh, no. I'm sorry. He just hit you for 10 slashing.
Jeez. From with his fingernails.
Yeah, it was quite the hit.
All right.
Ah, dang it.
Can Castros? Can I?
You don't know what's going on because you're
Yeah, I
still
know.
hanging out with
I know,
Charlie.
but I'm cutting in for a second. So at this point, I feel like Castros is like, okay, Charlie is not willing to make friends with me, but he'll like throw like the last of his morsels and leave the room and try to follow everybody else. Does he hear like the commotion going on down that south like passageway? Is it too far away?
I think it's probably, well, you'll probably hear it echoing, but it's gonna take you a while to get there.
Yeah. So I'm just like, I'm gonna think it's like funny. I feel like he hears like all the commotion going down that hall and just be like, whatever, they're probably fine, and then goes down the other southern hall passageway. So, just saying, that's what's currently happening while you guys are fighting. Like, you guys are fine.
Yeah. So the other thing, Dane, is because of that hit, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
All right. The 10.
You rolled a 10?
Well, yeah, 9 plus 1, so that's 10.
Cool. You're good.
Oh, well, thank goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, you're awesome. Good job. Alpha, it's your turn.
How far away are the other guys from us?
They're behind you and down the hall a little, so I mean, if you turned and ran, you could run over and hit them.
All right, Alpha goes to do this. It's pretty fast, so he about faces and charges towards the one that just slashed at our poor little rear defender, our rear guard.
Rear guard, who's taking on 2 at once, while you guys all piled on the one.
Yep. So Alpha's coming to join the fray. He about faces and just like a comet comes in with a punch to the face.
I like this.
But can he? He does have 40 movement. That should be enough for him to move over there and
Yes.
attack. Plus
Yes.
his bonus action.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So because of that damaging throw that he sees, like our poor rear guard going down, Alpha rushes over and unleashes a fury of blows on this creature of darkness. And he rolls 20, 17, and 17.
Good lord, every one of those hits.
Yay, finally he does good damage. Alright, so that is 6, 4, and 7. So 17 total fire damage and 3 consecutive rapid blasts against this thing.
Well, so I'm gonna just, you kill it, and my vision of this is like you're running in at full speed and you hit it so hard you like ripped its head off. Because holy crap. You just overkilled its hit points. Like with the damage being done plus that, you went like 10 over the kill requirement.
Oh, maybe he just had a little bit of a operational break where he decided to get a little bit blood fury crazy and just kept pummeling the body after
Yes.
decapitating it. Like knocks the head off in the first blow, but just keeps punching the body to make sure it's dead.
Oh god. I didn't realize he was infused with the soul of Brock Sampson. Anyway. That's insane. Okay, so it's very, very much sincerely dead, and it's Ray's turn. There's the last one down standing next to Dane.
Do it. Ray's gonna try to snipe it.
Snipe away.
Nat 20, nat 20, nat 20, nat 20, nat 20, let's go! Come on! That is not a nat 20, that is a 7.
Yeah, that does not
He gets
hit.
in that one and he shoots Alpha in the back.
You are adding your bonuses to that, right?
Yes.
Oh god. Yeah, that didn't hit. I'm sorry.
Okay. Ray's just gonna go sulk in the corner.
Let's see. Theseus turns and starts running over to help Dane, but I think he probably runs out of movement before he can get there. So he can dash action and get up, but he can't quite get to do anything.
All right.
So Dane, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, I think I'm going to be taking myself out of melee range, but I'm going to cast I cast another ray of frost at this thing. At the second
Okay.
one that's kind of up in there.
Go for it.
All right. So 9 plus 6 is 15.
Oh, that hits.
Okay, cool. All right, and then roll for damage. So that's 4 damage.
Okay. You damage it 4.
And then it slows it, which slows it down again.
Oh yeah. So but it's already up at you, so
Right. So I think at this point in time, I'm going to use my action surge to kind of get out of melee range of it. Can I do that?
yeah, go
Cast
ahead.
spell and just kind of back away real fast.
Yeah, given the damage you did too, I'm gonna say that it's probably not gonna. I mean, it's hurt. It's not gonna be able to respond. Like normally if you had missed and then you moved, it would have a reaction. It could hit at you or something.
Okay.
But so as it is, Alpha, you go ahead. It is your turn again.
Right, time for 1-2 punch time. After obliterating the first one. Standard attack is just 13.
Which hits.
And his bonus attack was 15.
Which also hits.
Okay. So I'm imagining after eviscerating the first one, he just kind of turns his head and then does like a double roundhouse kick to this thing for
Street Fighter style.
11 fire damage.
Ooh, good lord. All right. Yeah, it's knocked back. It stumbles. It's hurt bad. Ray, you want to finish it off with a shot? Or try to?
Be the finisher, like she'll come in and like shoot it with an arrow and kill it.
That's an 11 to hit.
Sorry, even in its stumbly phase, that's not quite a hit.
Darn it!
Stumbles out of way of the arrow.
Yeah, you were so on to hit it, and then when Alpha punched it, he punched it like its head out of the way, and the arrow flew right past. Which gives it an opportunity to take a swing at Alpha, because you're there, and that is 21 to hit. I think that hit.
Yeah. His armor class is 16.
Wow. So it's only... Oh, actually, it's 7 slashing damage. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution. do 14.
Oh, he's fine. Okay, you're good.
Except for the fact that he collapses onto his knees and is appearing deactivated because he has dropped to 0.
Oh. Yikes. Okay.
No,
Yeah, so aside from that,
Alpha, no.
All right, Dane. Alpha just fell before you. Do something. Actually, wait, no. Theseus can go. He's short. He's close enough to hit. He rolls, and what's his bonus to hit, Alex? I don't remember. I'll find it.
verifying. He's got +3 proficiency. With his rapier and dagger, he's +5. But I don't know if that's because...
He takes a swing and it misses.
Wow. Okay. Once.
Curse of the Unfamiliar Sword.
Yeah.
All right, Dane, go for it.
Okay. Give me a sec here. I'm looking. That's what I thought. I don't have the component for that. So I am going to cast. Well, you know what? I'm just going to go with the firebolt again. I'm going to cast a firebolt at it.
Okay.
Okay. So that's 12 plus 6. That's 18 to hit.
Oh God, yeah, you hit it.
Okay. And then I believe that's a 1d10. Yeah, a 1d10. So that's 7 fire damage.
Yes, there's a little poof of smoke that leaves its head, or how about it? A little poof of smoke leaves its nostrils, ears, and mouth, and it just collapses to the ground.
Great. Okay.
You killed the zombies. Woohoo.
Yep. All right. All right.
No help from Castle.
Yeah.
But
That was
just don't
good.
forget, Alpha's still collapsed on the floor there. Just...
Right.
Good berries probably wouldn't work with Alpha, huh?
Probably
The
not.
normal healing
That was-
methods with the
That's
Warforged?
what's kind of complicated with Warforged is it's kind of up to the DM how they want to handle that because they can consume things and get benefits
Yeah,
since they're
well-
technically alive.
And a good berry is actually a mystical thing. It's not a physical. It's not like you're pouring a potion down his throat. You actually have a mystical object.
Alright. Well, Castos can't do anything right now because he's not around and he doesn't know Alpha's down. He's down the other passageway like, alright, screw you guys, I'm gonna go off and discover down here.
Oh yeah, did you take? Yeah, that's a good question. Do you take that same passage going south, or do you go to the other one?
I think he took the other one.
Yeah, because just is like, like they got it. Like they got it covered. I'll go down this one.
Okay, let me get back to you in a moment once we resolve this. Okay, so you guys, you're standing here. There's the group of you, and Alpha's down. What do you do?
I mean, Theseus
Okay.
could cure
Can't-
wounds.
How much? Say what?
Theseus could actually
Would-
cure wounds.
Perfect.
There you go.
Well, then how about he lays his hands on Alpha, like gives him a little shoulder rub, and is like, "Come on, little buddy, I believe in you," and cures wounds.
What is that, 1d8, right? Or, yeah, it should be.
I will look really quick. It is, yes, 1d8 plus ability modifier.
3. So,
Oh
yay!
no, no! This spell has no effect on undead or constructs.
Oh. But,
I
No.
mean,
are Warforged technically constructs? Because they're not machine. They're like living creatures. They're just...
hold on, let me look it up. Because yeah, you're right. I need to look it up. It says the official definition says living construct.
there's a chance that the only one who can heal him is Kasros. He's gone and done his own thing. He doesn't know any
Or
better.
if there's like some sort of dwarven tinkerer person who might be able to stabilize and bring back to 1.
I can try. I have tool proficiency, but that's mason's tools, and I have stone cunning. I have stonework lore. But that
Okay, so hold on. I looked it up in Wayfinder's Guide to Eberron. It says that while they are formed of stone, steel, wood, etc., Warforged are living humanoids, resting, healing magic, and all medicine skills that provide the same benefits to Warforged as they do to other humanoids.
Oh, very cool. So,
I live again.
God, he's coming back as Evil Ash now.
All right, cool. So, what does that bring him up to? Does that bring him up to 8 hit points, or
Oh, yes, to
4.
brings him up to 4?
Yeah, I rolled for Theseus. Theseus rolled 1 out of 1d8 plus 3, so 4.
Jesus.
I'm having
Okay.
great rolls today.
Yeah, we all are. Okay. All right. So,
It makes for more humor, at least.
yeah.
Yeah. Makes things more interesting rather than
So
one-shotting
Dane's
things.
going to suggest that we kind of retreat back to the the room that had the
Castros, you walk into a room since you went down the other hallway, and as you walk in, you see that the room is empty. There is a tile labyrinth covering the floor, and someone has scrawled on the north wall, "When the crown is broken, the kingdom of rings shall be surrendered."
Is broken, the kingdom of rings shall be surrendered. Okay. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I guess be on the lookout for a crown. Okay, anything else of interest in this room?
No, pretty much just the labyrinth on the floor, and then there's a door to the east that goes out the northeast corner.
So there's a labyrinth. Describe labyrinth, like labyrinth as in the board game labyrinth? You know, like there's like holes in the ground, maybe like a giant ball in the corner?
No, like a map.
Yeah, I was joking.
Did you? Yeah, that's before your time. Jay, did you ever play Seventh Guest?
No, never did.
Okay. There's one of the rooms in it. You go in and there's a rug on the floor with a labyrinth on it, and it's like a map for the basement of the house.
Okay. Cool. If only we had a cell phone, we could take a picture of that and carry it with us. Okay, so when the crown is broken, the kingdom of rings shall be what?
Surrendered.
Surrendered.
Surrendered. Okay.
So
It's
just
probably not important. Don't worry about it.
Oh. But the labyrinth might not be. Okay.
okay. So, if I'm gonna say that Castros, is it just a labyrinth drawn on the floor, or are there walls, or just like it's just?
It's like carved in, made out of like tiles and stuff.
Like a mosaic?
Yeah.
Kind of almost.
He's gonna
Kind of,
follow
yeah.
the labyrinth.
It's like a picture on the floor, sweetie.
Yeah, but he's gonna follow the labyrinth. I'm assuming if you step on the tiles, that's a no-no. It's like he's cheating. So
No, they're like tiny little tiles. Like they're all pieced together out of little 2-inch tiles. So it like shows you, like you're looking at a world map that's made out of tiles.
interesting. He'll make I'm wondering if he has any like drawing utensils on him or anything that he can like make note of or like keep track of.
Well, he is illiterate, so I doubt
Is
he's
he?
got.
Is Castros illiterate? I thought that was Ray.
Or is that Ray? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I keep getting you guys confused.
Yeah, you
if
do.
he was
keep getting
illiterate,
it.
then how could he read the message on the wall?
Exactly.
I'm sorry, I have to run the freaking world. You guys run your characters. I can't remember every detail. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, nickety
Sad God noises.
I'll run the world. You guys handle yourselves.
No, Castros can speak 4 languages and has an intelligence and wisdom of +2 and +3. I think he's good.
Yeah, I think you're good. I agree.
So, I don't think he would have paper on him. Maybe some leaves. Just
Yeah, well,
leaves and a piece of charcoal.
who knows? I don't think I have anything either.
So he'll make his way to the door that's in there then. At the east-north door, was that what it was?
Yes, exactly.
So you realize you are wandering around all by yourself, and
Yeah.
if you run into anybody, you have no help.
Mhm.
Okay,
Like, yeah,
and we don't know where you are.
yep.
So if you end
That's
up
true.
with 0 hit points,
If it comes to it, Castros will turn to a direwolf and howl. It's like,
How is that supposed to alert
How does
us?
that help at all?
yeah,
Yeah, alert you guys.
and we might not be in any shape to actually come get you.
Castros is being Castros right now. Let him do him.
All right, just saying.
This is not the first time he's gone off on his own and is backfired. You think he's gonna learn? No. He's gonna keep doing what he
It's gonna
wants.
Oh,
Yeah, he
That's
keeps.
that really high wisdom score there, really kicking in.
That's what I've said before. Castros is smart, but he doesn't like doing smart things. He'd rather do like the more fun and interesting things, like going off on his own because you guys are boring. Just like. So he'll just go to that other door, maybe take a glance around, but he'll like keep in the back of his mind that he does have companions somewhere else.
all right. Well, you go to that door and you look into the room beyond, and in the center are 3 creatures about they look to be about 4 feet tall and 7 feet long, something like that. 2 legs. And currently they're standing in a group about center. Looks like they're kind of eating something.
Interesting. Can he like stealthily observe and make a nature check?
Do you want to get closer?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
No.
No, you're just standing there. Well, if you're just standing there in the door, you haven't alerted them yet. You can make a nature check to see if you recognize them.
Cool. Never mind, nat 1 on that nature check. He has no idea.
Nope, not a clue.
Yep, alright. So he's just gonna make like a little note. So these are, so they're bipedal. They're 2 legs.
Yes.
4 feet tall and 7 feet wide? Well,
Long. So, kind of like, that's a good thing I can compare it to. Oh, like the velociraptors in Jurassic Park, you know, how they're really long, but they're on 2 legs, so they're like 4 feet tall and 7 feet long, like tail to nose or whatever.
yeah. Gotcha.
That's what I was trying to describe.
Got it. Alright. Neato. Alright. He's gonna like make mental note. It's probably eating something. And he's gonna just assume that they're hostile, just by looks. And he'll back out, because he'll be like, I don't know if I can take 3 of these. Like,
Probably a good choice.
Look right now.
No, Dane is not, because he's in a completely different part of the...
You are giving me a look right now. Like, anyways, yeah. So he'll just like give like a little nod and then just like quietly back out and close the door.
Alrighty. Well, there's no door to close. Everything here is just open because it's all like tunnels that have been carved.
You're right.
So yeah, you back into the room and kind of, I'm assuming, hightail it out of there.
I tail it, but he'll just be like, okay, cool.
He'll sashay out there.
And sauntered vaguely downwards. Now he'll just walk out of the room and be like, maybe I should go check on everybody else.
Right on.
Yep.
So you, I take it you'd wander back and down the other path and eventually meet up with everyone else?
Well, I mean... Yeah, I think that's probably about the only way she can do it.
I mean, does that make sense?
Yeah, that's what he does. So he eventually finds us
Yeah.
in that room.
Just, hey
Awesome.
guys, how you been? What'd I miss?
Well, I've got a story to tell you.
Yeah, so Dane just sits there, glares at Castros, and says, "Where have you been?"
Well, I checked out Charlie. great big bugger. Love him. He's great. Chill. And then I went down that other passageway because I heard you guys fighting, but like it seemed
And you didn't come to our aid? You heard us fighting and you ignored us?
I didn't ignore you. You sounded like you had it handled. I didn't hear sounds of death or despair yet, so.
Alpha almost died. I almost died.
Yeah,
Are
I'm
you
imagining
gonna be-
Alpha is just sitting in the back right now, inactive. You just kind of hear little ticking and stuff going on inside of his body, but he appears inert.
That's it. And then I'm gonna be like, did you want to be part of this company or not? Because we need someone with us that we can actually depend on. And if we can't depend on you, then you can just kind of go somewhere else and we will find somebody that we can depend on to actually help us out. So you need to make a decision about what you want to do.
Wow, this is a really serious confrontation. This will define Chaos character from here on. It's a turning point in our campaign. Serious point where Castros has to make a decision between the only true friends he's ever had and his own selfish needs for once in his life.
Pretty much, yes. So
Yeah, for once, Castros actually doesn't have a joke about this. He'll kind of, yeah, he won't smile either for once. Like, he'll genuinely think about this, and after a moment's pause, I'll just say, no, I want to be with you guys. I've never experienced anything like this before. I don't think I could survive any other way now. But if it helps, I genuinely believe that you guys would be fine.
yeah, it doesn't really help. So no more wandering off on your own, okay?
He gives like a small sigh, but is like, yeah, okay, I'll stay around. And he'll conjure up some good berries for, Alpha.
Nice.
That'd be 20.
Oh wow, yeah, those are very good berries.
I have a good spell attack bonus. Just like, I have a very good spell bonus. Anyways, so he will give those to Alpha. He'll just like I just imagine him like absent-mindedly like putting them in his mouth, like just like very like mechanically.
Okay,
He's
so
kind of in a rest and recuperation state right now, like not really paying, aware but not really doing anything, just kind of trying to recover as much as possible.
yeah. So I think we should probably do a long rest right now because I need to gain some of my hit points back, and Alpha needs to recover, and so on and so forth. So
Okay, so when you guys got in here, it was the basically middle of the night or something like that. I mean, the moon was out, all of that. So if you long rest now, it's going to be morning and decently into the day by the time you wake up.
yeah, I mean that's fine. But I just don't think it'd be safe for us to try and go further. Without trying to regenerate some of our hit points.
Oh, I understand. I just wanted to warn you that it's like the time elapsing thing.
Oh, are you afraid that the guards from the Capitol are going to be coming down here in the daytime?
Oh, I'm not worried about any of that. I just was making sure you're aware of the fact that it's a long rest is defined by at least 6 hours.
Yeah. No, I figured.
Okay.
Alright. Well, Castros is doing fine. If you want, you guys rest, he'll keep watch.
So how many hit points do you basically regenerate during a long rest?
It would take you to full.
Okay, cool. All right, excellent. Okay, so we wake up kind of be about mid?
Oh, it would probably be, let's say it was 2 a.m., so you're up and it's like 8 a.m.
Morning then?
Ish. Yeah, it's morning. You guys, crack your bones, whatever. You feel pretty good.
Okay.
And you start to hear there's some movement way down the hall from you. You just hear it echoing down through the stone, and just some voices, very hushed and muted, pretty far away.
Okay. So we're in that room. Is there any way we can kind of tell which hall it's coming from? Is it coming from the one?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
It's the one you came in.
Okay.
So the long hallway you used to get here, you can hear the voices echoing down that.
All right. Well, let's go see what's making. Let's quietly try and see what's making those noises.
Okay, as you work your way north up the hallway you came down, you can hear the voices becoming louder and, well, more clear. By the time you get up to the intersection to where you can kind of look around, you can hear them talking, and one of the guys you can clearly hear say, "I just don't get it. Obviously something set the alarm off."
Okay. All right. Well, I am going to kind of very quietly try and back up and kind of back around the corner towards the room, hoping that they don't see me because I don't want to attack normal people.
I just assumed that you heard them before you got up and around the corner.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm just going to basically try and stay still and quiet and kind of wait and see if they go on by.
Well, they're down at the very entrance, so way down to the east. So that's like a good 60 feet from you or something like that.
Okay.
So they could approach, but they could not.
They could come your way, but I mean, right now they're pretty far away.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say we're gonna be fine.
Okay. So, so I guess let's go back to kind of where we were before we got hurt, and we'll just kind of let's go south and then try to go down that south corridor where the two zombies were.
Okay. You go down that, you work your way all the way down, you go down that corridor, and it turns to the west, and then it just kind of tapers off into unfinished stone. This looks like a lava tube that just never got completed. Like the stonework, that's the nice carving and stuff, just ends.
Okay, and it just turns into a natural tube.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm going to assume that this is not necessarily where they would be laying some ancient king.
No, definitely not.
So I'm going to turn back around and hit the passageway going north.
Okay. You go up there, and it turns to the west, and then again to the south. And that drops you into a room where the part of the east wall has collapsed. Spirals of yellow stones cover the floor. There's also scratches that indicate something had been there, but you're not sure what. It was definitely a large creature of some kind.
So
I'm
what?
guessing Castros can't make a nature check. So he'd just be like, yes, that is the swamp trolls.
There are no clear prints, just like claw marks.
I know.
So what wall is the claw mark on?
Claw marks are on the floor.
Okay, all right.
The east wall collapsed into the room, and there's spirals of yellow stone on the floor.
I'm gonna go investigate the yellow stone.
Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow.
Not quite. No, the yellow stone, it's chalky and kind of soft.
Is it like sulfur?
It does smell like it, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna take a couple of chunks of this sulfur. I rolled a nat 20 on my investigation, by the way, so.
Oh, you nailed it, yeah, absolutely.
So I'm gonna take some of that sulfur. I'm gonna stick it in my pack because you never
Cool.
know when sulfur is gonna come in handy.
That's very true.
Okay. Is there anything else about this room?
No.
All right. So we're gonna go back out then. Go back to the original room, and take the passageway going west.
Oh, well, there is a second doorway out of here as well that went up. But It
Oh.
doesn't matter. It leads you to the same place, so it doesn't matter.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm just saving you the trip around, but whatever. Because it takes you to. You walk into this room. It is approximately 15 by 15 square. I can't remember the numbers and talk at the same time. Part of the ceiling has collapsed, and a crater has been blasted into the floor in the center of the room.
Ooh, destruction. Fun.
There is doors on the east and west on the south side of the room. You came in one of those. I don't care which one. If you came up from the last room you were in where you got the sulfur, or the room that you killed the mummy, either one. And there is a door on the east wall on the north side of the room as well.
Okay, and there was a little bit of a crater and a partially collapsed ceiling.
Yep.
And then north part of the room, there's a door going east.
Yes.
All right, well, I guess we'll take that going east.
Okay, so you walk into a corridor that narrows. It kind of pinches as you go down. And then the room orientation here is completely different than the others. Almost like it's turned 45 degrees, just from what you've kind of been used to. There's a toppled statue kind of in the, we'll call it the kind of the northwest corner of the room. And there's a pile of rotten leather in the southeast corner. And then right in the middle is this just huge bloom of violet fungus.
Fungus.
Something tells me we shouldn't touch that.
Nature check! Could Castros make a nature check on the violet fungus?
Sure, if you want.
Cool, he will.
I mean, it's a bright purple fungus. I just like the term violet.
18.
18, you name it. You point at that and you say, you see how those pores on the outside there, the cap kind of looks like a morel? Yeah, those things are really bad. Keep your distance. Like, don't even get within 10 feet of them.
Perfect.
Okay, all right. Nothing else in this room, though?
There is, if you look up near there's like a wind that's kind of coming through, which is odd. And as you look near the statue, there's kind of a weird dark area.
Eesh. Okay. So it seemed to me that might be a passage leading somewhere else, or maybe to a burial chamber, possibly. But the violet fungus is a concern.
Yeah, but it's in like the middle of the room, and the statue's kind of to the left. It's on the wall, west corner wall.
So you're saying we can
Northwest,
probably
whatever.
skirt the wall and stay safely away from the fungus?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so Dane's going to do that. He's just going to kind of edge along the wall and see what that darkness is by the statue.
It is some type of a passage. There's a hole here. It's kind of smaller. It looks like, a lava tube like many of the others, but this one has not been worked at all. It's just, it's small enough that you would basically have to crawl through it.
Okay. I guess I'll try crawling through it.
Alrighty. You do that, and you find yourself going deeper and deeper. I mean, it is a seriously long tube, but you can feel there's air hitting you in the face, so you know it goes somewhere.
Okay.
And you keep moving through, and eventually you pop out into a finished room. And it's kind of a bizarre looking one. It looks like the standard rooms, but there's all these weird square holes cut into the ceiling and floor. There's a charred wooden shield in the southeast corner next to a doorway, the archway that passes out into a corridor beyond.
Okay. So where's the archway? What part of the room is that in?
On the east side,
East?
and there's a shield next to it.
Okay. So archway, shield. And square holes in the floor and ceiling.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you can feel as you pass by them that this is where the air is coming from.
Through the holes.
Yes.
Interesting.
Many holes.
Is there anything else about this room that seems out of the ordinary?
Not particularly. It seems like it's a very utility room, like they needed to make something look pretty that wasn't.
Huh. Okay. Well, I'm going to try to kind of avoid the holes. And just kind of work my way to that archway.
All right. You do, and you can see into the room beyond, which is long, and it has, like, as you look in, you can see it's a particularly long and narrow room with like two doors on the east side, one on the north side, one on the south side. You're, coming in on the west, of course. And as you look down and examine it, you can see that into the walls, particularly down the north and south side, are a group of draconic faces carved in, and there's what looks like pieces of spoiled meat scattered throughout the room.
Kind of faces on the wall.
Yeah.
It's like where I got my dragon tooth. Is it kind of like that?
Yes, very much like that.
Intriguing.
Okay.
Is it like an old one thing? Like maybe all of their layers look like this or something? I don't know. All this is under the palace, though.
Well,
It's a conspiracy. The old ones are working with the government.
oh my god. All right. Okay.
Lava tube gate. It's all about the conspiracies, you know. Government's working with the old ones hidden in the lava tubes under the temples. They're all gonna come out, and yeah.
Is this like the Tibetan tunnel conspiracy?
I have no idea. There's so many conspiracies these days. It's hard to keep track.
All right, well, just checking.
Okay. All right. Well.
Remember, it's only a conspiracy until it's proven.
Right.
Just like, what's Charlie doing in there? Like, what are you gonna use him for, government?
Okay. Good lord. What time is it? It is almost 10.
Yep.
So, okay. Well, I guess my first thought would be maybe try the door to the north.
As you pass through, you walk down between all of these dragon faces. It is freaky. It's kind of smells bad in here. And you pass through the door, and you see that both doors actually come together to a single hallway beyond. So you get the feeling that that room was meant entirely for some type of ceremony. And as you pass down through the hallway here, it splits to the north and to the south.
Wait. If Castros touches the, like, heads, is it gonna be like before where, like, a voice will start talking to him?
Which head? You just walk down touching every head as you go?
Sure.
Okay, well, all right, so you just walk down kind of absent-mindedly touching the heads. You don't hear any voices, but you definitely feel there is a energy here, much like you felt when you were out under the moon.
Huh. Interesting. So some kind of magic is here. So definitely like a ceremony thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Even more.
All right. So hallway branches off. One goes north and one goes south.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll take the north one.
All right. As you go to the north, you enter into a small room. A metallic odor fills it. There are several bent copper coins scattered throughout the room, and it is otherwise clean, like weirdly clean.
Bent copper coins and metallic scent.
Yes. Like that
We found the
coppery.
ferryman's hangout.
The ferryman's hang out.
Oh God.
The ferryman become a reoccurring character.
That's the new.
This is where they all get together to play cards together, as part of their new union benefits.
Like every once in a while, we just come like the room teleports. So every once in a while, we'll just come across the room and like new things will be added. Like, hey, we were able to get an arcade machine in here. Cool.
All right, what kind of metallic scent would you say it is? Kind of coppery, kind of irony?
Yeah.
Coppery?
No, like copper, like when you strip a wire and lick it, that taste?
Okay.
Like that.
All right. But there's nothing else in there?
No, just those coins.
All right. Well, I guess I'll pick one up and look at it.
It is a standard copper coin, but it has been bent perfectly 90 degrees in the dead center.
Okay, weird. All right. All right. Well, I guess I'll kind of back out of that room and go back on down, and then take the path going south.
Okay, here you enter another long room. There are several alcoves cut into the sides, and a stack of rotting crates stands against the far south wall from you.
Okay, well, let's go investigate the crates.
Okay. They are old, they're wood, and like I said, they're rotting. They appeared to have once held all sorts of goods, probably brought in for various purposes, but are now useless. Like, it looks like the wood is mostly disintegrated.
So if I tear apart any of those crates, is there anything valuable in it?
There's some mice that run out.
So the answer to that would be no.
No, not at all. Yeah, there's nothing of value
No
there.
special demigod armor or anything like that?
No, they were used to like bring things in, and then these were just set to the side and forgotten about.
Okay. That's kind of another dead end. Alright, well, I guess I'll go back to the room. So, this long, narrow room, how many exits did you say there were?
Well, so the one that you're in to the north, there's an additional north exit, and the one you're in that's to the south, there's an additional southern exit.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
Sorry, that was my bad.
Okay.
You want to retcon and go back to the north one?
Sure.
Okay, so just because you were there already, make this easy. Yeah, so if you do pass through the north door there is a kind of I'll describe it. It's almost like a foyer, a staging room with something scrawled in Orcish on the wall and stairs that descend.
All right. So Dane's gonna read the Orcish.
All right, make sure I get to the right one because I have little. Oh, it says no secret door here.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
You want to check your doors?
Yeah, let's check for secret doors.
Okay, well, roll to investigate.
So my investigation. That's 17.
That's pretty good. You look around for quite a while. You don't find any secret doors. You did find a loose piece of stone that kind of gave way, but there was nothing particularly of value inside.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I guess So this north exit. This isn't the coming out of the room with the metallic scent, is it? It's coming out.
No. You went through that room into the next one, and then this is like it looks almost like a big staging room, and then there's stairs that descend down from here.
Okay. Got it. All right. So I guess we go down the stairs.
Awesome. As you descend into the next level, we fade to black and pick up here next time.
Cool. All right.
Neat.
That was absolutely perfect, guys. You ended it exactly at the end of like this map.
Oh, nice.
That you went right through the map. I mean, you came in, you found the secret lava passage, you went through all of this stuff, and you avoided a bunch of the monsters with your long rest, and yeah, that worked out like brilliant.
Oh. Good. Well, that's fantastic, because I don't think we could have taken on any more monsters at that particular time. That would have been disastrous.
Yeah, but it worked. You did it.
All right.
So, right on.
Cool. All right. Well, I got to get to bed, guys, but thank you very much.
Yes.
And
You're welcome. Have a good night.
we'll do it again next week.
Good to see you guys. All right.
Yep, see you
Take
then.
care. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
This has been an Azentuary LLC production. Find us online at azentuary.com for our character bios, merchandise, Patreon, and more. Thank you for listening.
And then we had a teachable moment with one of our characters.